Transit TV News, I'm Tom Davis. Libyan Prime Minister Muammar Jibril says Muammar Gaddafi has been killed.
Muammar Gaddafi rose to power as Libya's leader during a bloodless coup in 1969. In toppling King Idris, he became the youngest world leader. His style, often quirky and flamboyant. For much of his more than 40 years in power, Gaddafi was at odds with the U.S. and other Western governments. Relations deteriorated in the 1970s following his support of liberation movements in places like Africa and the Middle East. They hit their low point in the 80s. In 1986, the U.S. attacked Libyan patrol boats in waters Libya claimed as territorial. Then an explosion at a West Berlin nightclub killed 2 American soldiers. The U.S. claimed Libyan involvement. 10 days later, President Ronald Reagan ordered airstrikes that killed 31 people, including an infant daughter of Gaddafi.
We have done what we had to do. If necessary, we shall do it again.
The bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Scotland 2 years later killed 270 people. When Gaddafi refused to hand over 2 agents suspected of being involved in the bombing, the UN imposed sanctions. By 1999, Gaddafi changed his mind. At the urging of Nelson Mandela, the intelligence agents were handed over for trial.
Our modest contribution to resolving the Lockerbie issue will remain a highlight of the international aspects of our presidency.
A year later, Gaddafi worked out the release of 4 Western hostages in the Philippines. Sanctions were finally lifted in 2003 when Gaddafi took responsibility for the Pan Am bombing and paid $2.7 billion to the families of those killed. Soon after, President George W. Bush announced that Libya had agreed to disclose its weapons of mass destruction following months of secret talks.
He has agreed immediately and unconditionally to allow inspectors from international organizations to enter Libya.
By 2006, the U.S. reestablished diplomatic relations and removed Libya from the list of state sponsors of terrorism. American oil companies soon rushed to make new drilling agreements in the oil-rich nation. Despite Gaddafi's improved standing in the world, he was not able to escape the surge of popular uprisings sweeping through the Arab world. Matt Friedman, The Associated Press.
Bert Ammerman of Rivervale, New Jersey, whose brother Tom died on board Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988, said Thursday, quote, "I can say today with a great deal of satisfaction that my brother and the other 269 people that were massacred did not die in vain."
A great deal of satisfaction. I never thought I'd live to see the day that he would be eliminated. I've said over and over again for the last 5 or 6 years, the day Gaddafi is killed or removed from power would be the last chapter for me in Pan Am 103. It's been nearly 24 years. And I can say today, with great deal of satisfaction, that my brother and the other 269 people that were massacred on December 21st, 1988 did not die in vain. Nearly 24 years ago, he left a wife and 2 daughters at the time at the age of 6 and 4. He was one of the finest, nicest human beings you could ever meet. And to be blown out of the air at 31,000 feet, you never can get your hands around that. I never thought I would see the day that this man, this coward, would now no longer be part of the world population. I applaud the Obama administration. It's obviously the template that they've developed now should be the blueprint for the future in dealing with state-sponsored terrorism. He eliminated bin Laden. He's now eliminated Gaddafi. That's the right way to go. And so I support that form of foreign policy. We never again should occupy these countries. We should use our technology, our intelligence, and work through an allied group like NATO. And if we do that, we will eliminate, I think, future areas of state-sponsored terrorism.